afternoon, good evening, good morning, good night, wherever you are in the wide and wonderful world of Tottenham Hotspur. This is Thfc Till I Die with a bit of a discussion on a post-match West Ham game last night. Dermot's off today, so you have to put up with me for the next half hour or so. I suppose I'm looking back on last night's game, and I was in a very strange position last night. And some of you might know, I play in a band on a Tuesday night. And we were playing a gig last night in a pub in Dublin, and the TV screen showing the Spurs game was about 20 feet away on a wall over there. So I spent half the night looking behind the bass guitarist to find out how the game was going on. So I never made more mistakes than I did in the thing last night. I was concentrating on the match more than my drumming. So I got into trouble over that after the match. But anyway, one each, should have won it. I mean, looking at the stats on the game, I thought now, actually, I'm just going to say hello to two people who are in the chat before we get into the stats from the game. Carl Simpson is in the house. Hiya, Carl. How are you? Good afternoon, everybody. Wembley won. You're saying afternoon, everyone. A game we should have won ended up being one, where I was relieved at the end to get a point. Yeah, it was a bit hairy at the end there, wasn't it? Both teams could have scored in the last couple of minutes. And Chris Welsh is saying big up, everyone. But looking at the stats in the game, I mean, it was difficult for me to understand who was the home team and who was the away team there, because West Ham had 11 shots, we had 13. On target, we had 4 each, fair enough. The possession, West Ham for a home team, 32%. Just think about that. If we had 32% of the home, okay, I know we were used to having it under Conte, but if we had 32% at home under Ange, there'd be rumblings of discontent, I think would be the best way of putting it. So we had 68% possession playing away, which is what was very good. West Ham, 302 passes. Spurs, 662. We passed them to death. And that maybe is where the problem arose a little bit. I think we were too intricate with our passing. We were too slow. I mean, nobody took the chance of bursting through and trying to, actually break the mold there, because West Ham they put 11 men behind the ball. They really did. They were not going to lose that match in front of their home fans under any circumstances. They had very little attacking intent. Okay, a couple of hairy moments that they almost scored, especially the Antonio one, which I believe, when he went through 1-on-1 with Van der Ven keeping them company. I think the referee told David Moyes after the game that if Antonio had scored there, he would have disallowed it for a foul on Van der Ven, so fair enough. But to get back to the stats, 13 fouls for them, 9 for us, 1 yellow card for them and 4 for us. Red cards, none. Offsides, 3 to them, 1 to us, and corners, 9-5 to the Spammers. So we won nearly all the stuff there. When we got off to that great start, I thought, this is going to be good. And then Pedro Porro nearly scored with a rasper from outside the area. But this whole thing of not being able to defend corners, I mean, that came off Zuma's back. I mean, there was nobody jumped with him. Nobody didn't even know he was there. So I don't know, this zonal marking at corners, I just don't know, does it work? I think we should go man for man. There's a better chance of maybe getting something, because it was very, very disappointing to give away a goal so quickly after that. We'll just go back into the chat again to see what else people are saying about the match. Carl Simpson said, yeah, we should have won, but like they always say, I'll take a point away from home, they all count. Exactly. And I think we're looking for City to do us a favour tonight, actually. As Chris says, you will take the point, but it feels like a missed opportunity with Villa having to play City tonight. Yeah, well, hopefully City will, get back on form and play a bit better than they did against Arsenal, where they weren't very good at all. And we'll see how that one goes. And Carl Simpson saying the set-piece defending was awful. The Carthos Zuma can barely get off the floor. Yeah, I know. I mean, he would have had time to go and kick his cat down the stairs and still jump up and score. It was just terrible defending. It really was. And Chris Welsh was saying, I was disappointed in West Ham. I honestly thought with their attack that they would come out. They were scared of us. I mean, I could not believe there's so many behind the ball, and we just couldn't find the pass to break them. Okay, at the end, I think if that ball had fallen to anybody but a doggy, we might have won the match. But then again, they went up the other end and he scored after that. Remember when Kulusevski put the cross in and hit the West Ham player on the head and bounced back down the other end? So it was a bit nip and tuck at the end, or a bit exciting at the end there. But the game, I think Point gained or 2 points lost, I don't know. I'll take a point, as Chris, as Carl said. I think a point away from home against who you're playing is good. But now our next game at home is Forest on Sunday. And Forest had a good win last night, so they'll be up for it. So, there's no easy games in the Premiership at the moment. And we certainly need 3 points on Sunday. Maintain this gap over Manchester United and keep making. Let's cement at least 5th place. And hopefully, if Villa get hammered tonight, which hopefully they will, that we can make up the difference on them and actually finish in 4th, which would be a tremendous achievement, I think. And Chris is saying West Ham shouldn't be scared of you with them being the home team. London Derby, I expected better from them. Yeah, I don't think the fans were too impressed. I wouldn't have been anyway. So just 1 second now. I'll be back in a moment. Sorry about that. Yeah. Anyway, that's it. So onwards and upwards. A lot of matches on tonight. There's, I think, Arsenal are playing Luton tonight. So I hope Luton give as good an account of themselves tonight as they did against our place. But knowing Arsenal, Luton will lie down to be their bellies tickled tonight, get absolutely hammered, and so which is not good. We don't want Arsenal to get anywhere tonight. So anyway, let's just have a quick. I think we've more or less discussed this already. And one of the topics: West Ham 11 men behind the ball. Yeah, that's what they did. I don't think, as I said, I would not like to have been a West Ham fan last night with that. Okay, I know they created a few chances, but they look very, very lethargic. They look slow for a team that can score goals and has a good home record. I think that they'll be very, very disappointed with that. And I suppose what's overseen all this morning is that Tottenham have released the accounts up to the 30th of June 2023. And I've just printed off a thing. This came actually from The Guardian this morning. And it says, rising first-team costs cutting to Tottenham's increased revenue. Chairman says consistent European participation is vital. Now, just to give a quick rough down here, one of the most important things, most interesting things to come out of Daniel Levy's press release in connection with the annual accounts is that Tottenham are in discussions with prospective investors in an effort to capitalise on our long-term potential. The chairman, Daniel Levy, has revealed after the North London club posted an overall loss despite an increase in revenue. Now, it looks to me as if we're looking for to capitalise on our long-term potential, to continue to invest in the teams and undertake future capital projects. The club requires a significant increase in its equity base. The board and its advisors, Rothschild & Co., are in discussions with prospective investors. Any recommended investment proposal would require the support of the club's shareholders. Does this mean he's willing to sell a stake in the club? That's what it looks like to me. This could be like a Jim Ratcliffe situation at United, where he'll sell off so many percentage of the club, but still maintain overall control. So that's very interesting if that comes to pass. And because they obviously can see that we are the club in the Premiership that's using the ground for other events like rock concerts and boxing matches and whatever. And just to give you a quick breakdown on the figures. Total revenue for the financial year to 30th of June last exceeded £500 million for the first time, with a figure of 549.6 million, which is an increase of up on 444 million from the previous year. However, operating expenses, including first-team costs, have risen by 21% to 487.9 million. And this actually left us with an overall loss of 86.9 million. Now, you might think, oh my God, FFP is going to kick in. No, those figures do not include the money received for Harry Kane, because he was transferred after the 30th of June. So it's not quite as bad as it looks. The loss has been put down a significant and continued investment in the playing squad. In fact, since they moved into the stadium in 2019, Spurs have invested over 600 million in both the men's and women's first team squads. So while we're making a loss, we are still very, very lucrative, a very, very good investment for an investor. And it's also not just a fun to finish off on these accounts, because I know they can get a bit technical. The figure of there's borrowings, right, of borrowings at the club, the net debt, at the moment, as of June was 677 million, and most of that was to do with the stadium, obviously. More than 90% of the borrowings are at a fixed rate with an average rate of 2.79%, which is way below what they'd be paying now if they were borrowing at the moment. So the finances of the club are in very, very good state at the moment and will continue to be so. And Daniel's ethos is clear. He says, to be far-sighted and run the club sustainably. This involves strict control of our cost base, increased commercial and sponsorship revenues, and consistent European participation, which we hope we'll have next season, all of which are key to our ability to continue to invest in the squad and win top honours. So there you go. Now, there's one part of the accounts which I'm going to make a comment on now. This might be a little bit controversial, but Daniel Levy got a bonus of 3 million quid based on the Spurs results back up to last June. Now, Daniel, I've got a suggestion for you, and this would buy you brownie points to beat the band with the fan base. And this is in relation to the 65th minute protest against during the Luton game when the fans turned their back on the pitch because of the increase in the seniors' prices and the doing away with the concessions for seniors. It's been estimated that will save the club about 3 million by doing that, right? Now, Daniel, you're a multi-millionaire. You don't need the money. Why not hand back that 3 million to the club and say, yeah, that'll do instead of the seniors discounts. Keep them as they are, and I'll subsidise them. You could absolutely, people, even the most ardent Levy hater would have to come out and admire that sort of a move. Will it happen? Probably 1% of it happening, but I think it would actually buy him an awful lot of kudos if he do something like that. I mean, 3 million Daniel Levy, he's not going to miss it. No, really, he's not. So that's the story on the accounts. Let's go back to the chat again here now, see what anyone else has to say on it. Right, just get back up here. The chat is actually going quite busy here, so I will just have to. Okay, Chris Welsh is saying big up everybody. Yes, Chris. And Carl is saying, yes, we should have won, but like they always have done that one. Sorry. Don't know where to start here. Yeah, Carl is saying, I agree, Chris, I will revisit after tonight's results. Yeah, interesting games tonight now. And this is an agreement with what I was saying earlier. The set-piece defending was awful. Really terrible. Yeah, I've done that one as well. Sorry, I'm sorry if I'm repeating some of these, but anyway. And the Tequila 316, 0-0 was a fair result. Big up, Phil. No, last night wasn't 0-0, it was 1 each. Anyway, this is why the West Ham fans are hating Moyes. Too defensive and playing for draws, and with the players they've got, they should be doing more. I mean, you've got Antonio, you've got what's his name, Bowen, Jared Bowen, what do you call him, and you've got other good players. That winger, the fellow that's what's called him, Paqueta, he's a good player. They should be going. They'd have gone for it last night. They might have beat us, but they didn't. And and it's down to Moyes. I can absolutely say that. And Kulu would play better on the left wing. Funny, I thought when Kulu would come on, I thought he might play down the middle because Maddison had gone off. But I don't know where to. Honestly, don't know where to play Kulu at the moment because he's not doing it on the right wing. And I don't know what we're going to do. He's a bit of a problem player just at this moment in time. And Peter Wren is saying, hello, Philip, and everyone in the chat. Disappointing not to win, but a draw isn't the end of the world. No, it's not. No, it's not. And I presume this is what about Daniel Levy's £3 million bonus. Yeah, Tequila saying, I believe it when I see it, Phil. Yeah. I mean, absolutely. I mean, it's only a thought, but it's just a coincidental. That's the money they're going to save by getting rid of the seniors, which I'm affected by, to be honest with you. I used to really get match tickets quite cheaply. Now I'm going to have to pay full whack for them. So not that I go that often, but it's still going to affect me. But it's tough. It's tough. And Levy's not finished milking this cow yet. It's true. It's very true. And this is from Wembley One. How many times have we heard of potential new investment and for Levy to then kill anything that might help the club financially? Well, what does encourage me slightly there is the fact that Rothschilds are involved in it. I mean, they're not going to be paying big bucks to Rothschilds just to kick them down, any potential investor's suggestion down the road. But I said, no, we'll leave the way things are. But the fact that they've employed a company to potentially source out investors is a little bit of a positive move, I think. Not to say it may not come to anything, you just don't know. But I think we're going to have to. I think that he's looked at what's happening at United, or will happen at United, and I think an injection. Like, I mean, Daniel Levy's not going to sell a stake cheaply, but I mean, we get maybe a couple of 100 million put into that club from a percentage investor. It will really increase the squad depth if that money is used for that. Obviously, use it for something else, fair enough, like building the hotel, but I think that's all been ring fenced as well. You know, I mean, Ange just said next season we're going to be challenging for the title, and you just hope that Daniel Levy's on the same hymn sheet there by bringing in investors to help us actually achieve that. Now, I always said next season is the season we are going to move. This season's a bonus. Next season's where we're really, really going to be showing what a good side we are. And Carl Simpson is saying there are potential investment companies in talks, but I worry Levy will price them all out. Well, that's going to be an issue. Yes, it is. That's going to be a problem because Levy does not. He drives a very, very hard bargain, and I think that if somebody wants to invest 100 million, Daniel Levy is, well, yeah, I'll only give you 70. I'll give you shares worth 70 million. Or he won't give him the full value. He'll try and screw a few more million out of them, and if you know where I'm coming from, you know. And I just want to have a look here at. One player that I watched last night. Let's go back to the match again. And I criticised him heavily over his last few performances, but I think Basuma had a good game last night. I thought he looked more like back to himself, and you know, he wasn't sort of the disinterested looking player that he has been for the last couple of matches. I think. What's your opinion on Timo Werner? Should we buy him at the end of the season? Let's have your opinions in the chat there, because I think over the last couple of games, I think he's shown that he's creating for us now. That's 2 goals that he's created in the last couple of games. And I think he gave West Ham a little bit of stick down that left-hand side last night. So put in your chat, just put a yes or no in the chat. Would you sign Timo Werner on a permanent basis at the end of the season? And also, it was good to see Mickey van der Ven back last night. You know, okay, I know maybe he might have defended Zuma's goal better, but it was good to see him back. And also, Ange used the substitutes very, very unusually last night. I mean, he brought on, I think he used all the subs, which is quite unusual. And I think, you know, another thing that hasn't been made any mention of was the weather last night was dreadful. I mean, it just seemed to be bucketing rain the whole time of the game. And that obviously made things a little bit more difficult for players on the pitch. And I hope that the Spurs fans managed to get home safely from West Ham, because I know the West Ham fans don't like us. So I hope there was no incidents on the way home last night. And also that you returned the binoculars to the West Ham stadium, that, you know, the binoculars that you need to see the pitch from how far back you are. And also being in a different time zone. And West Ham is in European time +1, I think. Is that their ground is voted one of the worst grounds in the Premiership. Really, totally unsuited to playing football on. And when you look at our ground and theirs, it might look similar, but that's what the comparison is. Our ground beats it hands down. Now, let me see if there's anything else we can discuss here. This is always going to be a quick enough show tonight, lads, because as I said, we'll be getting into the swing of the weekend games soon. And Carl is saying it'll be fine to get rid of Ndombele and other Deadwood salaries. It will ease up. Right. Well, these are the players that I think will be leaving the club at the end of the season. Ndombele has to go. We cannot keep subsidising that guy for any longer. He's gone past his usefulness. He's always useless for us anyway. So he's got to go. I think Ryan Sessegnon needs to move on, because that guy's perpetually injured. He's a new sick note. Really, he needs to go. I think Pierre Højbjerg will go. Now, I'm not particularly happy about that, but I think he wants to go to get more time, so he'll probably be gone. We're going to have probably a lot of the squad, the won't say squad players, but the likes of Ben Davis, he might possibly move on. It all depends on who we bring in the summer. Like, we're going to be linked with it. We need another striker, that's for certain. And I'm just wondering if the Saudis come in with a bid of 60 million for Richarlison, would the club take it? I think Richarlison he's a divisive player. Half the fans like him, half the fans don't think he's worth the money. I don't think he's worth the money. I mean, nobody's worth that money, in my opinion. But I feel if we get an offer of 60 million, we may take it and invest it wisely somewhere else. I also think that Werner should stay. That's my opinion, you know. And the likes of Chelsea, is he going to stay? You know, he's only a bit part player with us. Although his 100th appearance yesterday after 5 years. I must say 20 appearances a year. Like, I know he's been out on loan and whatever. And I think we should also congratulate our one and only captain Sonny last night for making his 400th appearance for Tottenham. I don't know if you read Ben Davis's article about Sonny, about him, and he seems to be a really, really lovely guy. There's no airs and graces about him, and you know he turns up at events wearing a hat and try and disguise himself because he doesn't want people to make a fuss of him and all this, you know. So he's a lovely fella, and Ben Davis himself a great mate because they came to the club roughly at the same time. So you know that's it. So. Tequila is saying here, getting naming rights for stadium would help Levy and Well, the naming rights have gone on now. How long? 5 years? 6 years? And I think that it is time that they were done. I mean, we can get 20, 30 million a year out of that. You know, and there's got to be someone out there that wants their name on the back of the stadium as famous, if you like, as Tottenham Hotspurs. No, but anyway, that's again. There's probably been offers made, but not big enough to that Levy wants to accept. And Keelan's also saying Levy is the mug, not you, Philip. I worded it badly. Oh, I never took it that way, Levy. No. I know that. Don't worry, Tequila. I'm very thick-skinned anyway. I can take it. And Carl is saying he'll get rid of Ndombele and his wages will cover, so you don't need to raise tickets. Yeah, Ndombele's on 200 grand a week. Now, I don't know how much the Turkish team is paying of that, or wherever he is, you know, or whether they just pay it straight into the nearest kebab house. You know, I don't know, but I just don't want him gone. And Wembley is saying, not in Levy's coach to do something like that. Oh, I know. I mean, I'm only thinking out loud here. You know, there's no way. Daniel, if you're watching, you know, just give it serious consideration. Not that he's watching. Tequila saying, meant 1-1. Yeah, that's the game last night. Yeah. And Wembley is saying, Carl Simpson, spot on, sir. Just like Levy has priced out any potential reasonable offers for the stadium naming rights. Yeah. And here he is. Dermot has turned up. Hi, Dermot. He's having the day off today. Oops, get that off. And Peter Evans is saying hello back to Dermot. Thfc till I get. Is that a new one? Jeez. That's all right. Oh no, I think hang on, I must have said that earlier. TFC till I die, new naming rights holder. Yeah, well, I don't know if we've got a couple of 100 million stashed away, Dermot, that we could do to pay for that. You know, it might be a bit awkward. Going to the bank manager looking for a loan to buy the Tottenham naming rights. Right, he'd probably be an Arsenal fan anyway. And Carl is saying Dermot was being in on his day off, even though he's been filming for his new role in the Female of Showgirls. Funny, I came across that film Showgirls on where I don't know what was recently. Now, a bit naughty. Yeah, a bit naughty. I don't think Dermot would fit the bill there. Maybe he would. Yeah, maybe he would. And Carl is saying big up Dermot. Peter Ramos saying Levy is to get the best possible price of the shares on offer as is to the club to do so. Well, that's very true. That's very true. He's not in a bargain basement there. We're in a position of strength, so he should be able to get the best possible price. And we are a name that want to get associated with at the moment. You know, if it's only to get their name on that board behind the TV interview thing, you know, all the sponsors' names are up there. Some very, very prestigious companies there. And Dermot saying, my man Johnson is coming good yesterday, Philip. Let's get him in. I have no problem with that. Presumably some of the Timo Werner. Yeah, Brendan Johnson is now proving to be a very good acquisition. I think he's scoring and he's making goals, and he'll be like again. He's only betting in. He's only getting used to the place, so he will be a good asset. And Peter Evans saying, I'm still undecided on Werner. He's good, but let's see what he contributes in the remaining games. If he just scored that chance against Luton on Saturday, I think we'd all be crying for him to come in because that would have showed up what he can do. It's just his finishing isn't that good, but his approach play and his pace is enough for me. The finishing will come eventually. You know, it just hasn't got there yet. And Carl is saying, I personally like Werner. Now, I know he isn't scoring a lot, but he scares the hell out of defence and he's attacking. I'd say yes. That's exactly what I'm saying, Carl. He does. I mean, there's nothing worse for a fullback to have a guy like Vernon running at you at pace. You can't tackle him. You can bring him down, give away a penalty. And I like his pace. And I like his attitude. He's trying so hard. And Ange obviously has faith in him when he's now including him in the starting lineup. And Tequila is saying, depends if he is brought as a squad player. I think that at the moment he's a first team player. He's a starter at the moment. And I think he'll continue to be as long as he keeps playing well, you know. So, but then again, we buy players in the summer. He may become a squad player. Who knows? If the bigger the squad we have, the better. Like the bench last night was one of the strongest benches we put out in a long time. And it's good to see that. Compared to earlier in the season, we had the young lads making up the numbers. And having I think we had 2 goalkeepers on the bench at one stage. You know, we should never ever see that in a club like Spurs. And Peter Emerson, West Ham Spurs used to be the toughest in the country in the 70s. These days, I'm not sure Hammers fans are that dangerous. No. Oh yeah, the West Ham fans used to be the intercity firm, isn't that what they used to call themselves? They used to be very, very tough. They used to arrange fights with the Spurs fans. They'd be fighting by arrangement. We'll meet you in Hackney Marshes and have a fight before the match or something, you know. So no, I think a lot of fans have got away from that. There's not as much well, there's rivalry, but there's not as much physical rivalry and fighting going on as there used to be in the 70s, I don't think. And Ben Davis will go as well, and Tanganga and Gill and Solomon. Yeah, I feel sorry for Solomon, although I think there's some kind of, not row, but there's a disagreement going on with his club in Ukraine, I think, Shakhtar Donetsk, about his transfer fee. So I don't know what's going to happen there. I think Brian Hill, I'd love to have seen more of Brian Hill, but I don't think he's just not the physique to make it in the Premier. So you're probably right, he'll go. Tanganga, yeah, he's scoring goals from Millwall now, so he'll probably be gone. Ben Davis, he's in the second year of a 3-year contract. I think of anyone, he might be the one that might stay on. He's good. He's a utility player. He can play centre back or wing back if we need him. Now, not that we hope we do need him that much, but I would keep him just to have him there. And Tequila saying, bite their hands off for 60 million for Richie. Yeah, I think we would actually if that came in, you know. I'll tell you, the one person that would miss Richie if he was transferred is his hairdresser. He's a different colour hair every time he plays. And Tequila saying, we'll bite your hand off for 30. No, I wouldn't let him go that much, that cheap. We paid 60 for him. We don't want to lose money like that. We're going to lose money on Ndombele, so we can't afford to lose it on Richie as well, you know. Ndombele still has 1 year left in his contract. Nobody would pay money for him. We could loan him out to Dog and Duck. I think they're probably full. I think they probably put him on the subs bench. You know, have him bringing out the kebabs at half time. I think there'll be a cancelling of contracts coming up there. Mutually agreed one, I think. And Tequila saying, okay, I can't see Dermo's chat. I think I blocked him. Yeah, damn it. You've been blocked. And Carla said, Tequila, I didn't want to say anything, but Dermo said you were trouble and a spy for Levy. Ooh, espionage. All right, okay. Yes, the Hammers were the intercity firm, and some of them went into the Essex drug business that led to the infamous Essex murders. Yeah, there you go. Yeah, that's gone back a bit now. They were a bit tasty back in the day. Now they're probably all drawing their pension, you know. And Tequila, oops, I keep showing the Daniel Levy thing. Tequila saying, laugh a lot, Carl Simpson. Hope he doesn't poison my food. Yeah. Stay in the high rise. I don't see any in the 26th story of any hotels anywhere, you know. You might end up out the window. Friends close and enemies closer still. Yeah, that's a good point. And Peter Evans agrees with me. He said, like Davis to stay, he's a useful sub and his experience is valuable for the younger players. Exactly, yeah. And he's one of these lads, he's not going to make any trouble. You know, he's going to be there. He'll accept what's given to him. And a good player for Wales too. Tequila saying, going to check the Jaffa cakes right away, and he's someone to test them for any takers. Actually, I think they get a new supply of Jaffa cakes. You know, they're running out. So, lads, I think that's really all we've got for you at the moment. Just with what day is today? Today's Wednesday, isn't it? Yeah, we're not playing until Sunday. Now, tomorrow night we're going to get back on with the Unholy Trinity podcast with Dave Harris, Dermot, and myself. Well, I don't know what we'll be talking about, but it's going to be tasty anyway. And I can imagine the Spurs account and also yesterday's match will be part of the agenda, but we'll let you know. And then the weekend we'll be doing watch-alongs. I think Dylan could be doing a watch-along tonight or tomorrow to some of the games, but that'll be, you see it up and it'll come up on YouTube. I'm not quite sure what's what. And then on Saturday we'll be doing Around the Grounds on Saturday, and then Sunday at 6 o'clock we'll be doing the watch-along for the Nottingham Forest game. Now, I'm afraid I am away this weekend. I'm going on a bucket list trip to Brussels and doing a 3-day tour of the World War One battle site, with special attention to what the Irish regiments did during World War One. I'm a history buff, by the way. I'm into sort of American Civil War and World War One, and my passions other than Tottenham. And that's where I'm off to on Sunday. So I'll be following the game from Brussels, but hopefully we get a win. And Daniel, DJ Samuel's just in saying afternoon, DJ. And Tequila saying very nice, we'll enjoy it. So yeah, thank you. I'll be checking in. All right, it's just something I want to do this for years, and it's actually the guy that's leading the tour is a very, very experienced historian who's done this trip a number of times. So looking forward to it. And thanks, Peter. I'm saying thanks, Phil. Have a great and informative trip. Well, I'll actually be sending back videos. I know they're not to do with football, but some of the stuff that happened during 1914 to 18 is just, it's unthinkable that what happened, the inhumanity that was shown to the men over there and the cannon fodder that they were. So I'll be sending back videos, and Dermot may put them up if he gets the chance. And Carl Simpson saying, this is why Philip brings class to the channel and Dermot brings the rap. Thank you, Carl. Thank you. Checks in the post. Dermot, respond, silver play. And Carl saying, only joking, Dermot. There you go. Anyway, lads, that's it. I hope you enjoyed the show. And listen, have a nice Wednesday. Here's praying Man City get a win tonight against the Villa, and that Luton do a job on the scum down the road. And that will make it a particularly good week for us if that happens. So I'm just going to sign out. I don't know what I'm signing out with here. I'll probably do the outro. Yeah, so here we go. So listen, come on, you Spurs.